In the hour of heaven's judgment, wake up and be vegan now. Part 6 of 8 on Between Master and Disciples, held in English.
Ngoài hiên giọt mưa thu thánh thót rơi, trời lắng u buồn mây hắt hiu ngừng trôi.
I don't know why NATO says they have rules. To hell with rules, I tell you. Because look, a long time ago, many decades ago, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center were blown up by the so-called terrorists.
Yes.
The Twin Towers, 2 towers only, and not an overwhelming number of people died.
Yes, that's right.
Not the overwhelming number like now in Ukraine. And they went to wage war with Iraq.
Yes.
And wage war with Afghanistan.
Yes.
And even spend many years, 10 years, to track down the person that they accuse of masterminding the Twin Towers in 911.
Yes, Master.
And now the Ukrainians are dying. Russians are dying every day. Up to maybe 100,000 already, at least.
Yes, Master.
And many cities are destroyed. And people live in fear. And millions went out into all the different countries.
Yes.
That is a big burden also for those countries, spending their time, their energy, and their finances to help these refugees.
Yes, that's true.
So I don't know why NATO has rules.
Yes, exactly, Master.
For the Twin Towers, they went to make war with at least 2 countries.
Yes.
And also they even went to Pakistan to kill the so-called mastermind of that terrorist attack of 911.
Yes, Master.
And now the whole country is in boiling water, on fire, in desperation, begging for help.
With new warnings, Ukraine is outgunned and desperately in need of faster deliveries of arms from the West. Ukraine's government says it can respond with only 1 artillery round to every 10 fired by Russia. And in Mariupol, this new video of mass graves. Officials say as many as 20,000 people are buried there.
Every day, I never heard President Zelensky not asking for help.
That's true. Yes, Master.
And at least 2 times he asked NATO to commit totally.
Yes.
Meaning with force and with soldiers and with the best equipment.
Yes, Master.
Still, they just turn a deaf ear and blind eye. As if they see nothing, hear nothing. Like the 3 monkeys.
Yes, Master.
Not saying anything, not hearing anything, not seeing anything. They cover their eyes with their hands. They stuff their ears with toilet paper and gag their own mouths and only now and then say something.
Yes, Master.
We are almost repeating the same stuff. So I asked Europe, all the European countries, and whatever NATO country that wants to join, they must join forces to help Ukraine to flush the aggressors out. Because otherwise they will be next, and it will be too late.
Yes, Master.
If Russia has Ukraine anywhere as a stepping stone, as a springboard, they will be soon in hell. Yeah, in war. War is hell, man.
Yes, exactly.
И если вы считаете, что мы остановимся на Украине, подумайте 300 раз. Напомню вам, что Украина – это всего лишь промежуточный этап в обеспечении стратегической безопасности Российской Федерации.
У нас кончится терпение, мы просто запустим что-нибудь тяжелое в сторону Вашингтона и Лондона.
Польша доиграется. Было 3 раздела Польши. 4-й будет последний.
Граница России нигде не заканчивается.
Придет время, и Польше ничего не останется. И от Прибалтики. Мы снова нашу армию подведем к западным границам. Они трусливые, они боятся. Их нужно брать испугом, кнутом.
Мы ни в коем случае не можем остановиться на полпути.
Наши подлодки способны выпустить более 500 ядерных боеголовок, что гарантированно уничтожают США и все страны НАТО в придачу.
We are naive, General Milley said yesterday. We're naive to believe that this is all going to be wrapped up in a matter of weeks or months. I'm afraid Vladimir Putin has struck out on a course that, as long as he's in control of those Russian military forces, puts at risk not only Ukraine, which we know today, tomorrow Poland, the day after Baltics. We have to be ready to stop this man, because I can tell you he won't stop at Ukraine.
So I just hope they wake up and do it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm saying all this is bad for me, bad karma for me. But I have no heart to see the Ukrainian people suffer for nothing like that, from nothing.
Understand.
Just like history repeats itself again. Always Russia came and molested them, possessed them, controlled them, destroy their country and destroy their people. Murdering, raping, and killing their people like that.
Yes.
Destroy their lives, destroy their country. They have done nothing. Just because they're smaller, they're weaker. And the whole world cheated them to give up their nuclear weapons with just an empty promise that they will protect Ukraine.
Yes.
And, on the contrary, they turn around and attack Ukraine instead.
Yes, Master.
Knowing that Ukraine has given up all their nuclear weapons.
Yes, Master.
And use the nuclear weapons from Ukraine even to threaten the world.
Yes, Master.
Because Ukraine was forced to give all the nuclear weapons to Russia to keep.
Yes, Master.
Now Russia uses nuclear weapons to threaten the world, not just Europe.
Yes.
So how bad can that be already? And NATO talks about rules, huh? Just garbage. Do you hear me?
Yes, Master. Exactly.
Absolute rubbish. Nothing more. I don't like the darkness that Stoltenberg exudes from his being. I really hope he understands better. Otherwise, he will just be dragged lower and lower and lower and nearer to hell, and then become one of them. One of the demons.
Yes, Master.
Right now he's possessed, but he will become one of them if he continues like that, instead of fighting for goodness against evil.
Yes, Master. Yes, Master.
And not just him. In Europe there are some more. You know already.
Yes, yes, Master.
You know at least one of them. So unless NATO wants Ukraine to experience that great famine, hunger, death again, or become another Chechnya, or become divided like Germany before, then they don't have to do anything.
Yes, Master.
But the whole world will hold the chief of NATO responsible. Not just the chief, but some big members of NATO. The world, history, and heaven will hold NATO responsible for this war in Ukraine. And whatever else bad happens to Ukraine, like if they become like Chechnya, or they become like old Germany, separated Germany again, then NATO will have to answer. They will be held responsible. Because first of all, they refuse Ukraine joining NATO, knowing that Ukraine is vulnerable next door to great big Russia, huge Russia.
Yes, that's right.
This is the first time that anyone has threatened to use nuclear weapons for conquest. This is the fundamental issue which too few people in NATO have actually realized or made clear to themselves. And so I think we need to really be much more serious than we are. And these kind of excuses, oh, we can't defend the Ukrainians because it'll start a nuclear war, really already is acceding to Russian blackmail. And that will not stop anywhere, because once they've succeeded there, they will go on and say, we will use nuclear weapons when we attack some other country. You have to say, no, we will put a stop to this now.
not just NATO is responsible, but the whole West is responsible because they have promised to protect Ukraine in case this country is invaded, and even invaded by one of those who promised to protect Ukraine, namely Russia.
Yes, Master.
And they just waited, and they're not doing anything. They still are not doing anything much. So they're all responsible for Ukraine's suffering. Ukraine has to pay for being cooperative with the whole world by showing their willingness to sustain peace through giving up all their nuclear weapons and by feeding the whole of Europe and the world. So Ukraine does not deserve to suffer such terrible atrocity from Russia. I don't know why the West is still so passive. Giving weapons and money is good. Is good. I don't say it's not good. But that's not enough. Because they need manpower. They need soldiers also.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Master.
Russia is a bigger country. They are outnumbered already and outgunned. And Russia can bring in other countries' soldiers, like Chechens,
Yes, Master.
even from Syria. And they're pressing Belarus already.
Yes, Master. Yes, Master.
Well, these people, I don't know if they would ever say no to the Kremlin. But I have to say, even though Azerbaijan was very aggressive in the war with Armenia some time ago, but still, at least the president, the government of Azerbaijan was very straightforward, very courageous, and say no to Russia. No, we don't partake in this war.
Yes, Master.
But like Chechnya, Belarus, and Syria, I think they cannot escape from the net of the Kremlin, from Putin and all the gangs.
Yes.
It's been a long time. It's been conditioned that way already, and they can't escape somehow, even if they wanted to. But you see, Ukraine is all alone.
Yes, that's right.
Smaller country, and all the so-called allies are just standing by.
Yes, Master.
And they promise this gun, that gun, but they have already run out of munitions, and the promised things are even delayed now.
Người mong mây tan cho gió hiu hiu lành, mây ngó trời xanh, chắc gì vui mưa còn rơi, bao kiếp sầu ta nuôi.
Based on compassion, not only we ourselves do not kill, but we do not ask others to kill for us. The Grand Dharma Master, Wei Chui, vegetarian.